Dear all, welcome to this video. Please hit the subscribe button so that you automatically get updates for upcoming videos and lectures. Thank you. Enjoy watching.
Now, in today's lecture, we'll be discussing antigens, what are antigens, their structure, and antibodies, types of antibodies and their structure. So, first we'll start with antigen. Now, what is antigen? Antigen is a substance which when introduced into your body or introduced into the host's body, it would stimulate the production of antibodies if present. Now, they are said if present. Why it is said if present? Because if there is unknown virus or unknown bacteria like COVID-19, obviously your body won't be having the memory cells to store the antibodies. So if in memory cells those antibodies are stored and if that particular antigen is introduced into your body, then only antibodies will be produced, otherwise not. Now what are the characteristics of antigen? Now antigen has two properties, immunogenicity and reactivity. Now what is immunogenicity and what is reactivity? Immunogenicity is the property which is defined as the antigen will evoke immune system. Okay, it stimulates immune system. That's why it is called as immunogenicity. And reactivity is after evoking the immune system, whatever antibodies are produced, the antigen should have capability to react with that particular antibody. So the antigen should possess both these properties. Only then a particular substance can be called as antigen. Complete antigen. Okay, so there is one more term called as hapten, which has reactivity but no immunogenicity. Okay, so how will you convert a hapten into an antigen? You will add a carrier molecule. Now here in diagram you can see these are the hapten molecules. Okay, so and this is your whole carrier. So when these both are combined, the final product which is formed, which is the complete antigen. Now these are some terminologies related to antigen antibodies. So epitopes, these are the also called as antigenic determinants. These are the chemical groups present on the antigen for binding of antibody. And paratopes are the chemical groups present on the antibody for binding of antigen. Now valency of antigen, the number of epitopes present on one molecule of antigen is the valency of antigen. Now these antigen valencies are again classified into two groups, functional and non-functional. So total valency can be defined as functional valency plus non-functional. The non-functional valency means there are some epitopes which are hidden on the surface of the antigen and they are not available for binding. They are just present over it, but they are not available for binding. So those are known as non-functional valency. Antibody, now what is antibody? It is a biological or functional concept, whereas immunoglobulin is a structural and chemical concept. Okay, so all antibodies are immunoglobulin, but vice versa is not true. So here is the structure of now this is your antigen. These are the small triangles which are known as epitopes, and this is your antibody. Okay, and this region is known as the paratope, which is present on the antibody. Now, what are the properties of antigen? First of all, macromolecular size. The size of the antigen has to be large. Only then it will act as an antigen. Second thing is foreignness. It should it should be a foreign particle, foreign ingredient, foreign substance. Okay, it should not be a part of your body. Next is solubility and susceptibility. Obviously, it has to be soluble in body fluids. If it is not soluble, then it is not available for antigen-antibody reactions. Next is the chemical nature and complexity. Usually, antigens are lipopolysaccharides in nature, but in very rare cases, it can also be carbs and fats, but they are not actually. If a particular hapten is present, then you can combine it with some carb or fat and you can convert it into a antigen. Next is antigenic specificity. So antigen obviously it should be specific. Now species specificity. Under this, what kind of specificities a particular antigen should possess? So first is species specificity, obviously related to a particular species only, say for all humans or all animals or all dogs. So those will come under species specificity. Isospecificity means these are the antigens which are infected into the same species. People of same species. Means when I am getting infected, that particular person is also getting infected. So that is the isospecificity. And heterogenic or heterophilic specificity means antigens of different species, okay, having same antigen. Organ specificity obviously related to a particular organ. Now antigen can be classified into two groups, Ti and Td. Ti stands for T cell independent and Td stands for T cell dependent. So obviously the name itself suggests Ti independent is obviously T cells will not be present. Td T cells will be present. Structure here is simple, here complex. Immunological memory is not present in Ti but it is present in Td. Antibodies formed by IgM and IgG3. These are the types of immunoglobulins that we will be studying in detail, their structure and all. Metabolism in vivo slow and remain in the body for a long period of time, whereas these are rapid. Tolerance induction easy, where it is difficult, and initial processing by macrophages is not required and where it is required. Now classification of antibodies. So depending upon different criteria, the antibodies can be classified. First is according to the temperature. The temperature it can be divided into two groups, cold and warm. Cold means at 4 degrees Celsius it can work, and warm means it can work at 37 degrees Celsius. Now according to the occurrence, it may be natural and immune. Natural means which appear without any absent stimulus. It is naturally present in your body. Immune antibodies means after introduction of an antigen, it has appeared. Now, according to the species which produce them, now isoantibodies and heterophile. Isoantibodies means, as I told you, from the same species, then antibodies are produced, and heterophile means from different or another species has been produced. Now, according to the reactions which are carried out, so agglutinins, agglutinoids. Agglutinin are the antibodies which are responsible for immobilization of motile organisms and for cell clumping. And agglutinoids are agglutinins that are modified by heat in such a manner that no longer they bring about agglutination. They combine, but they don't bring about agglutination process. Precipitants, they will obviously cause precipitation of cellular antigens. Lysins, they will cause lysis of cells. Now, what kind of cells? It may be bacterial lysin, where it will kill bacterial cells. It may be hemolysin, where it will kill RBCs. It may be leucocidin, which will kill the leukocytes with or without lysis. Opsonins are also present. These help in process of phagocytosis. So the bacteria will get phagocytosized. Neutralizing antibodies, they render the antigenic microorganisms harmless. Allergic antibodies means these are the antibodies which react with the allergens in allergic reactions. Antitoxins are the antibodies which neutralize the specific toxins. Name itself suggests. Complement fixing antibodies are detected by the consumption of complement fixing antibodies. See, now these are all types of antigen antibody reactions which we'll be studying in next lecture. So there you will come to know what types of antigen antibody reaction takes place, and whatever antigen antibody reaction types takes place, and whatever antigens participate or antibodies participate, those belong to this class. Okay? For example, if a particular antigen antibody reactions, if a particular antigen and antibody are taking part in precipitation reaction, then that particular antibody will be called as. Okay, so now types of immunoglobulins, that is types of antibodies. So there are 5 types, namely IgG. Ig stands for immunoglobulin, and capital G is the type. So IgG, IgA, IgM, IgD, and IgE. So this is the basic structure of immunoglobulin. Now this is a common or basic structure of immunoglobulin, not a particular IgG or something like that. We'll be seeing each structure, but this is a common structure for all of them. And first we will study this, and then we will go for detailed each structure. Now immunoglobulin, firstly it contains 4 polypeptide chains. So here you can see these are the long or heavy chains, and these are the smaller chains. So total 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 chains are present. Now here you can see that the upper portion is called as the Fab fragment, the lower portion is called as the Fc fragment, which is crystallizable fragment, and here it is Fab one. Now this Fab fragment or the upper portion, it has the antigenic property. It means it has the antigen binding site, so that's why it is known as antigenic property. A polypeptide chain is divided into two halves. I can't call them half, but two portions. This is the variable region. This is the constant region. The variable region end usually is containing amino terminal, and here it contains the carboxy terminal. Okay, on reduction or acidification, what will happen? This chain will be divided into two. That is, Fab region and the Fc region will both get separated. But this Fc region does not have the antigenic property. Only the upper region has the antigenic property. And all these four chains are held together by disulfide linkages. And here you can see there is a joint which is known as hinge joint. And this hinge joint makes the immunoglobulin flexible. That is, whenever required, it may turn into Y, or if not required, it may turn into T. Okay. So whatever light chains are there, their molecular weight is around 20,000 to 25,000 Daltons, and it contains around 213 to 214 amino acids. And the heavy chains, the molecular weight is 50,000 to 70,000 Daltons, and the amino acid residues are 446. And the Fc region here you have seen, it is responsible for complement fixation, placental transfer, skin fixation, and secretion of body fluids. Now this immunoglobulin has compact globular regions which are called as domains. So here you can see compact globular regions. Okay, so the light chain, that is the outer chains, they have only two domains, VL and CL, and the inner chains or the heavy chains, they have four domains, VH, CH1, CH2 and CH3. So between CH1 and CH2 there is a hinge joint. So this is the 3D structure of Ig. Now IgG, so we'll see the first class, that is IgG. It forms the 80% of the total immunoglobulins. It can pass through the placenta. It participates in complement fixation, respiration, and utilization of toxins and viruses. And they are further subdivided into four classes: G1, G2, G3, and G4. And 70%, 90%, 8 and 3%. Now next is IgA antibody. It forms around 10 to 13% of the total immunoglobulins. It is present in tears, saliva, seminal fluid, urine, and colostrum. And IgA is subclassified into A1 and A2. Now here you can see that it is a dimer. What is dimer? That is two immunoglobulin molecules joined together with the help of J chain, or that's a secretory IgA. That's why it is called as secretory IgA. Next is the IgD. Now the molecular weight of IgD is around 80,000 Daltons, and it constitutes only 1% of the total immunoglobulins. It is present on the surface of B lymphocyte, and which further differentiates into, which leads to the formation of antibodies or plasma cells. Okay. IgE is the chiefly produced in lining of respiratory and intestinal tract, low concentration in serum, mediates Prosnitz-Kostner reaction, and involved in production against pathogens of mast cells, degranulation, and release of inflammatory mediators.
Now, so IgM is a pentameric immunoglobulin. It is the largest in weight, and around 9 lakh Daltons is the molecular weight of the antibody. And here you can see it is a pentameric. It is 5 immunoglobulin molecules are joined together with the help of disulfide linkages. And here you can see the J chain, in this case. It is also present. It has a short half-life and undergoes agglutination and opsonization reactions. So now this is the difference between all the 5 classes of the immunoglobulins: molecular weight, heavy chain class, light chains, subclasses, half days. Here you can see only the immunoglobulin G. It has more half-life, otherwise very small. Concentration of the immunoglobulin is higher. Valence is between 2 to 10. Physical state, IgA and IgG and IgA both are mono and dimer. Another is a pentamer. J chain is present in A and M. Complement binding. So these are the different reactions. Placenta only the G can pass. Heat stability everyone has except E. Main function is protect the body surfaces or body fluids. Thank you.